Vlog number 15, Friday, April the 17th, 2020, 1:49 p.m. So one of the Bucked Up's energy drinks that I got yesterday was the Blue Raz, and I'm going to try it and see how it ranks up, particularly against the Blood Raz. Get out of here. Alright, that's pretty good. I'll say that's pretty good. Woo! A little bit more sour, a lot more candy-like you just ate a Jolly Rancher. It's good. Anything just what do you expect out of Blue Raz, like the good Blue Raz. Like a good piece of Blue Raz candy, but it's carbonated, caffeinated, pre-workout sort of energy drink. It's really good, really good. I don't know what to say. I don't know. I know it's good. I know it's one of the best I've had. My question is it better than the Blood Raz? I don't think it is, but I don't think it's very far below it at all. I just can't get over how much it is exactly like a Blue Raspberry Jolly Rancher. I think definitely the best Blue Raspberry energy drink that I've had. I've had Bang, Rays, I think like the Rockstar Thermogenic or whatever. I think that was a Blue Raz. I've had tons of different Blue Raz flavors, and I think this one's the best. I'm not trying to turn into a shill for Bucked Up, but everything I've tried of theirs has been top quality taste. So, like I said, this is better than most. It's really good, but I don't think it's better than Blood Raz. I do just prefer straight up Blood Raspberry. So my rating for Bucked Up Blue Raz energy drink pre-workout will be 9.1. 9.1 is exactly 1/10 less than the Bucked Up Blood Raz. Do recommend, highly recommend. I pretty much, anything that I give like an 8 or more to is something that I would recommend. And the higher, the closer it gets to 10, obviously the more enthusiastically I would recommend it. So these Bucked Up drinks, particularly the Blood Raz and Blue Raz, Wild Orchard still a little bit, but not on the same level. I definitely would recommend them to you, as well as the pre-workout, for which I've tried these two flavors as well, and Grape Gains, stuff like that. So I don't know them well enough to know if they're like a really good company, but I do know that they make really good tasting energy drinks and pre-workouts. So check them out if you haven't. They're at GNC. They're online. I'm not sponsored by anyone. This is all coming straight from the honest opinion. So that's my review of the Bucked Up Blue Raz. I just chose this one to do today because I really wanted to have a good one today. As you can see, it's not a very fantastic, exciting time to be out here. It's like 36 degrees. I just didn't want to be inside all day. I'm a little out of breath. I've been like shooting hoops and stuff since I last recorded this. I'm just trying to be a little bit active, get a little bit of enjoyment out of it, try not to succumb to the lack of vitamin D out here. But anyway, I just figured you really can't go wrong with Blue Raz. Like, I don't think you can make a Blue Raz as bad. Blue raspberry flavored thing that's bad. Like, if you manage to do that, I'd be impressed. It's such a just good flavor. Like, I don't know anyone that's made a drink or anything that's blue raspberry flavor that's bad. And if someone has, they should be like ashamed. Like, literally, how do you mess that up? So anyway, I knew this was gonna be good. Plus, it's Bucked Up. They've always been good. Dude, I got them chapped lips. They're not that bad. Dude, they used to be so bad. So I'd had bad acne. Story time, by the way. I've had bad back acne my whole sort of teenage life up until then. So I was about 16. Yeah, I was 16. That spring or whatever. It was bad. Like, I really didn't care what I looked like that much, but it wasn't like I was embarrassed to have my shirt off or anything. Maybe a normal person would have been, but I kind of wasn't. But it was bad. You could definitely notice it. The problem was I would scratch or something. Like, if I scratched something and I went over one, it hurt so bad. I was not having it. There's some also on my chest, and I'd had a normal amount on my face. It was never really bad on my face, but eventually I ended up getting prescribed Accutane, which in hindsight I've heard is bad for you for some reasons, and it's probably not a good thing. All I can say is it worked for me. To get all the acne, I've been off it since that summer, but I have not had any sort of acne anywhere close to what I used to have. But the problem was, over that summer, it dries you out a lot. So my face would get really dry, especially over the summer, because I was working detasseling and roguing and stuff, and at that point I wasn't a crew boss. So I was just a regular grunt, and my job consisted of 6 to 8 hours of walking through cornfields in summer heat in direct sunlight 6 days a week. So that was a little bit brutal on the skin, but I did moisturize and everything, so that was alright. But my lips were a big problem. It had to be a daily thing. I'd carry a chapstick on me. I preferred Carmex or something. If I forgot it, it just sucked, because it was just you can see old pictures of me that look like. Right now, it's like, they're not ideal. They're a little crusty. I mean, it's whatever. I don't really care. If I was going somewhere, if I was gonna go to friggin' like kiss my girlfriend or something, I'd like obviously touch them up. But you can just see the general lack of care for my appearance. And some of that is just me being a savage. It just doesn't care because it's not like I'm not being seen by people. I am posting these publicly on the internet for anyone in the world to see. It's really just because I can't get a haircut. Once I get a haircut, because I don't want to just shave this and then still have this raggedy ass hair. It's just gonna look disproportional. I want a haircut and then I'm gonna shave this, so. And I want to do it at the same time, so I just look fresh. But until then, my neck beard's coming in ripe, nice and curly, almost to the point where it was at like No Shave November. I think the longest it's got is like a little bit longer than this, so we'll see. It's a shame that 60% of it is below the jawline, and I'm not one of those guys that's like gonna shave it like a nice sharp line, because mainly I don't know where I'd put that. Would I put it here? Well, that doesn't really do anything. Would I put it at the jawline? No, because then that's just unnatural. And if you see guys that do that, they just look unnatural. Because I've seen people that do that. I think I saw a picture of like George Lucas that did that, and I'm a little different because I'm a little bit leaner than that. I mean, I'm not like a freaking, I'm not a skeleton anorexic Auschwitz victim Ethiopian anymore like I used to be. I am a little bit more skinny than George Lucas. So my neck fat, my double chin, wouldn't really be as noticeable. It wouldn't just be like a freaking sphere that just got cut, like half of the hair just got cut at a certain point. But it still would be unnatural, like especially if I look down like this, it's just not right. And from the side it'd be obvious. My ideal facial hair would be like a gradient that started like here and then got to the peak like here, and then it was just like full up here. But it doesn't seem to be happening anytime soon. My dad does have the capability to grow a very solid beard, so hopefully that's gonna happen to me. But it looks like my neck will be very warm for the foreseeable future with my copper wire beard growing in. Oh yeah, my ideal facial hair. If you were to look at my GTA Online character, by the way, if you have PlayStation and you're listening to this and you play GTA, please add me. My name is fman_01. That's EVMAN_01. I like to play GTA. I had a friend on there. Like I literally had one friend that I played with, but unfortunately he is no longer able to play GTA. So now I pretty much play with no one, and I haven't like made friends with anyone on PSN since like Black Ops 2. Because now instead of using the game chat, I just listen to podcasts all the time. So anyway, please add me. And if you see it playing Fortnite in like the morning, that's my brother. But if you see it playing GTA, that's me. In terms of GTA, I just like to go around and mess with people. Not like grief them, but I do like to like get in battles, like PvP type stuff. I'm not a tryhard, and I'm definitely not a grinder, but I do like to get in an armored insurgent with someone and just go around and kill people. I've got like so many turreted planes that I can't use all the weapons with unless I have friends. I just want to see what it's like to go around with people like that. I have pretty much everything there is in GTA, but that's really besides the point. The reason I brought up GTA is because my GTA character has this sort of, I think it's called the Ambrose beard. It's basically like a full beard, except the chin. It's like the type of thing you'd see in the Civil War, and it's just really slick. It's just really just sort of imposing. I just really want to be able to make that work someday. At least for a short period of time. I just look so unique and so badass and so like historical, so sort of. Like I've tried that. Whenever I shave, when I get a beard like this big, if you even call it that, first I'll shave the neck, and then I'll shave like the chin, just to see what it would look like. It obviously looks like trash when it's like this thin, but just to get an idea. And then I usually shave off this stuff and then just leave the mustache, see what that looks like. And then I shave it like to get the Hitler stash, which always looks weird because this little part in the middle is not very full. Then I shave that off. So I've never kept with any sort of facial hairstyle except for everything on the same level. You know what I mean? This is all just stems from the fact that I look homeless, which I'm fine with. This thing, I think it's kind of funny. If you aren't like up to date when it comes to sort of, I don't know, Instagram, 4chan type memes, like I don't go on 4chan, but I see like most of the memes I see come from there. Sort of Wojak type memes. They're sort of becoming a little more mainstream, but if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can just click off. I won't be mad. It's really hard to explain memes, so I'm not gonna try. But I just think it's funny that I resemble right now. I'll show you pictures, but I resemble the Coomer. I resemble the Doomer in my outfit. Why do I keep saying that? I resemble the Boomer and the Bloomer when it comes to my sort of optimistic, like, attitude. So I'm not exactly a doomer in that. Plus, I don't smoke cigarettes, so I'm not really a doomer. But I do like sort of synth wave, sad type, like depression wave music. I don't listen to it a lot, but I like it. It's like the aesthetic of time migration. I'm just not very good at putting my aesthetic into practice anyway. And I also resemble, because I'm Generation Z and I play video games and I sometimes even play Fortnite, I'm a Zoomer. So if you don't know what I just said, then don't worry about it. You probably have more of a life than me for sure. But I have a lot of time on my hands to look at memes, and that's what I do with a lot of my day. So anyway, I just think it's funny. I resemble those 5 main sort of meme characters all in one. And I've just been noticing that. And it's progressively getting more and more accurate as this, physically, of course, as this quarantine goes on. So hopefully I'm not incoherent. Hopefully that made some sense to some of you. Alright guys, back in the car, but I'm going to Dollar General to get hot dog buns and chips. I just want to mention friend Mason, from DRU, just put up a video on his own personal channel, basically dedicated to the seniors of 2020 and how it's unfortunate that this is happening. And as a senior, I am going to, first of all, I want to say I appreciate his video. Go check it out and subscribe to him if you want to, and also watch out for his vlogs on here because he does provide some quality content. But as far as the situation, I would just like to say that me personally, maybe it's not the right attitude to have, but I am pretty optimistic. I'm really haven't been emotionally affected by this, and I don't think that's just because I'm in shock or anything and I haven't settled in. I'm not going to claim to be superior to anyone. I think that every senior, and anyone who even isn't a senior, but particularly the seniors, of course, have every right to be upset and sad about this situation because you really only get one senior year. We're missing our prom, our graduation. I'm missing baseball season. Some people are missing softball season and track. Senior trip is getting postponed, and we're not really sure if that's going to happen. Probably will, but we're not really sure. So all those things that people are going to remember their whole life, they're not really going to be able to get it. And I can see why people would be greatly upset by that. But me personally, I don't know. I think it's a little different. I think I never really enjoyed school that much. I mean, I enjoyed it. I have to go there, so you might as well make it as good as you can. I've been a lot better with not hating every single day that I go to school. I have a lot more friends now than I used to, but I've really only lived in this town and went to the school for 3 years. So I don't have I do have some really good friends, but I don't have such a relationship with everyone that most of the people here do, and I'm not really, this isn't life shattering to me. So also what I plan to do later in life is not go to college. So I bet people that are planning on going to college, this is just really confusing everything, messing everything up for them. and that I'm sure sucks, but I've always sort of been of the mindset, like, if you can't really do anything about something, sure, you can dwell on it for a little bit and be sad, and you have the right to, but it's not going to do anything. I think you should focus on what you can do, what you can sort of make out of the situation, and what you try and make the situation as non-unfortunate as you can, if that makes any sense. I mean, there's really nothing you can do about everything being canceled, but I think the way I see it, like, as long as I or someone I love is not directly affected with the virus or with the economic changes, the sort of stuff like that, I'm gonna count myself lucky. I mean, this is really unfortunate, but it's also very interesting because no one else that we know that's alive has been through something like this, and we're sort of in a unique position to experience it, and we have like a perspective that no one else in the world does, which I guess is nice. It comes at a high expense to some, but to me, like I said, I really don't want any pity. I'm not that sad about it. But I would like all the seniors and everyone that's affected by the coronavirus to remember who perpetuated this. I want everyone to remember that it was the Chinese Communist Party, the government of China, that if they didn't directly create the bioweapon and release it intentionally, it's almost certain that they created it and at least released it accidentally. But what they did after that, they did not shut down their borders, even after they knew about human-to-human infection, human-to-human transmission. They did not shut down their airports. They did not warn the world about it. They lied about it. They washed down, completely desanitized the wet market, and did not allow anyone in to inspect it, which is what they claim the virus came from. So that's a little suspicious, first of all. And also remember the US media, the people that originally compared this virus to the flu, said it was not a big deal. The governments that, for example, the mayor, I think, of New York, that said, go out and party, it's not a big deal. All of a sudden, weeks later, flipping their tune and saying that they've been right about it all along, blaming Trump for not reacting quicker, when if he would have reacted quicker, everyone would have called him a racist and a xenophobe against China. Remember who is responsible for this. Maybe it's no one's fault directly that the virus became a thing and that the virus started spreading in China, but it is most certainly the fault of the Chinese government not to shut down their borders and their airports and to allow it to spread. And it is most certainly the fault of the US media and the powers that be in the US government that did not admit when they were wrong, first of all, and are now exacerbating it and lying about the numbers and everything, and trying to perpetuate the shutdown as long as possible because they're power-hungry communists. I don't think that is anything extreme to say. I think that's pretty blatant to anyone who is paying attention at all. Either way you cut it, this is very unfortunate. I feel bad for everyone. I feel bad for my fellow seniors that are affected a lot more than I am. Just remember, like, we're going to come back from this, and we're going to come back stronger, and it's going to be a lot better, because we're going to learn from the mistakes we did. We're not going to be, hopefully, as reliant on China for pretty much everything. Just make sure you do not let the government maintain the power that they've gained in this sort of martial law type situation in some parts of the country. Do not let it escalate more than it needs to, and do not let it continue past the point where it would do anything to contain the virus. And remember, there's going to come a point very soon that the effects of the economy being shut down will surpass the severity of the effects of the virus if it were allowed to sort of run its course. And that's unfortunate. And once we lift up the lockdown, there's going to be more infections and more deaths. But that does not mean that we can keep locked down forever. We just can't. So remember that. Also remember, seniors, you're going to be able to vote, I think, pretty much all of you, this next election. I am an avid libertarian and anarchist. I do not believe that the government is justified in existing. And I've been against voting before, but in 2016, I was very much in favor of Donald Trump. And I think in 2016 or 2020, the situation warrants a vote for him again. I'm definitely going to vote for Trump. I think obviously he's not perfect. I don't have to explain that to you. But anyone with a brain, I think, sees that it's not even close. I mean, is it possible that he's just a puppet from the deep state, just like everyone else? Of course. Is it likely? Maybe. But he has the only potential of anyone to do anything that is particularly remotely beneficial or useful. Bar none. It's not even close. The fact that the media, which is the enemy of the people and which has done so much wrong to the people since they've been taken over by communists in the 40s, pretty much since that, for example, they got us in the war of Iraq. They lied about it. They spread the government's lies about weapons of mass destruction being in Iraq. They are unrepentant and unapologetic in hating the American people. That same media that is absolutely determined to destroy the greatest way of life, the greatest country the world has ever seen, that very same media stops at nothing and throws away every last ounce of their credibility and dignity to insult President Trump and to defame him and to slander and lie about him and his supporters ever since the day he announced his presidency. That in and of itself leads me to believe that he is actually working for the betterment of the people of the United States. And there's a chance that that could be wrong, but it's the only possible scenario in which he's the only person in the entire government with any amount of power at all that even has the slightest chance of providing any hope to the successful future of America and its people. I do recommend that you vote for him. At least be open-minded about it. The media is going to tell you, Orange Man bad. He's Hitler 2.0. If you believe that, I mean, you're probably beyond any sort of reconciliation, any sort of reason. So you probably tuned away already. But if you're still listening and you have an open mind and you're not afflicted with Trump derangement syndrome, this country is going to go to shit. But it's going to go to shit a lot faster if Donald Trump's not in the White House. So that's my pitch for him. This has gone on pretty long, but my point is just remember who's responsible for this, who did not do everything they could to mitigate the effects of this, who is lying about this. Just remember who's responsible for this situation. If anyone's responsible, it's the media, it's the Chinese government, it's the US government. Don't believe anything they say ever again. So, I used to be very politically active during the 2016 election. I'm going to link in the description my WordPress blog that you can check out. I haven't posted on it in years. But if you want to see sort of my, not ideology, but like my philosophy when it comes to things, my sort of ideas when it comes to government, the media, even religion, current events, even though they're not that current anymore. My views haven't really changed since then, so go check it out. I'll link it in the description. If you want me to continue posting there, I will. I probably will eventually start it back up again, but that's sort of what you can do to learn about what I think about these types of things. This video has been very long, but I think it needs to be this long, so thank you for watching.